You know, it wasn't that long ago, it was actually exactly 10 years ago, that a lot of Democrats and their faithful allies in the press corps were slandering John McCain as a racist, a radical, a right-wing buffoon. How dare he run against Barack Obama? That was then. Now, they want to name buildings after him.
So I'll be introducing a resolution with Senator Flake to change the name of the Russell Building to the McCain Building. But it need not be the only way we honor Senator McCain. We can honor him by trying to carry out the principles he lived by.
You know, you wouldn't want to question the sincerity of Chuck Schumer, but you got to kind of wonder what this is about. Dana Perino is co-host of The Five, and she joins us tonight with her view of it.
Hi, Tucker.
Hey, Dana. So, look, I mean, I love moments of bipartisan comedy, which they, you know, as they used to call it. So I don't want to be too cynical, but I'm also starting to wonder a little bit what exactly this reaction is about. How sincere is it, would you say?
I think that it is sincere, but it's also very politically clever on behalf of Senator Schumer. You're right. If you think back, that Democrats loved John McCain when he was going against President Bush in the 2000 campaign. They could not stand him when he was against Obama, but then they loved him again when he was the foil against President Trump. I do believe that McCain had such an impact on many lives in the Senate. And Richard Russell, the building that is the main Senate building, there's 3 of them, but that's where the senior senators are. It is named after a guy that today, absolutely, you would question whether or not a building should be named after him based on today's standards. This is a guy who was against the Civil Rights Act. He was pro-segregation. Okay, so on the merits, you could see that that would be true. But the other thing that Senator Schumer has done is he has ensured that the Republicans are going to be divided on this issue. Today, a bipartisan group was put together by Senator McConnell talking about a range of issues and ways that the Senate could honor McCain. The renaming of the building was not on it. Senator Schumer earlier was asked, does McConnell support renaming the building? He says, you'll have to ask him. And all of these candidates on the Republican primaries are going to be asked, are you for renaming this building? And they'll face 2 things. One, it's a distraction. They'd rather talk about the accomplishments of the Trump administration and the Republican Congress. But number 2, it ensures that the members of Congress and the senators, do you think that they want to get on the record talking about this when President Trump is watching? You just heard Ed Henry's report. One tweet from President Trump can make a huge difference, and you can win by 27 points in a primary.
No, it's a totally fair point. I wonder, just as a matter of justice, there was one member of the House who 10 years ago compared John McCain to George Wallace and tried to tie him to the 1963 Birmingham church bombings that killed those little girls. Shouldn't people who said things like that apologize at some point, maybe? You
would think that maybe that they would want to. I know that you had that in your monologue last night on your tribute to John McCain, and just talking about just the hypocrisy of it all. Look, I admire politics. I think that Senator Schumer has very few cards to play, especially on the biggest issue of this fall, and that is the nomination and confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. He can count votes just like anybody else. But there's one thing that the Democrats really know how to do, and that is to inject something like this into an election cycle to try to hurt Republicans.
It's a good point. I think a lot of people helping them. No, it's true. That's very smart.
And look, that's on the merits, you might think that John McCain that building should be named after John McCain. But I think that because it will become political, that it's probably not one of the ways that they will honor him.
I think you're probably right. That's why Dana has 2 shows, 2 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern each night. Can't say that I've ever missed one. Dana, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
American college student Otto Warmbier returned from a North Korean prison in a fatal coma. Now his parents are taking a proactive role in possible new sanctions against North Korea. His father joins us on the set next.